Good afternoon, dear friend. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to talk about something that many people feel but rarely speak about, the pain of feeling disrespected by your own children. It's one of the deepest heartbreaks in life. You raised them. You gave them everything you could. You stayed up late worrying, held them when they cried, taught them right from wrong, and loved them through every season. And yet, sometimes, somewhere along the way, things changed. Maybe it started small, a sharp tone, a missed call, a comment that stung more than it should have. Or maybe it came suddenly, a disagreement, a boundary crossed, or a silence that grew longer than you ever imagined. Whatever the cause, what you're feeling now may be loneliness, confusion, even grief. But please know this, you are not alone. And you are not weak for hurting. You are human. And your feelings matter. Today, we'll explore what happens when respect fades between parent and child, and how you can hold on to your dignity even in the face of pain. This will be a gentle, honest conversation, not to place blame, but to offer understanding, healing, and hope. Let's begin. When love feels like distance. You've spent a lifetime giving love. You've carried your children through sickness and school plays, scraped knees, and broken hearts. You've cheered them on, held them back when needed, and let them go when it was time. And now, you find yourself wondering if they still see you as someone worth listening to. Worse, if they still see you at all. Respect isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the way someone speaks to you, the way they listen, the way they make space for your thoughts, your needs, your presence. When that respect starts to fade or disappears entirely, it can feel like a piece of your identity has been taken away. Because being respected by your children isn't just about pride. It's about connection, about belonging, about knowing that even as time passes, you still matter in their lives. So why does this happen? Sometimes it's generational differences, a gap in values, beliefs, or lifestyles that grows wider with age. Sometimes it's life stress, work, relationships, parenting their own children, leaving little room for patience or reflection. Other times, it's old wounds, things said or done long ago that never fully healed. And sometimes, it's simply the distance that comes with time. Children grow up. They move away. They build lives of their own. And in doing so, they forget how much you still need to feel seen. But no matter the reason, the pain remains real. And you deserve to be heard. Why respect fades, and what it really means. Let's start by understanding what respect truly means, especially in the context of parent and child. Respect isn't blind obedience. It's not expecting your children to agree with everything you say or do. No, true respect is about acknowledging value. It's recognizing that someone has lived before you, that they've made sacrifices, that they've learned lessons, often the hard way, and that their voice deserves to be honored. But as generations shift, so do expectations. Your children were raised differently than you were. Their world moves faster. Their communication is shaped by technology, culture, and pressures you may not fully understand. They may not mean to hurt you, they may not even realize they're doing it. But unintentional disrespect still hurts. And when it becomes a pattern, when you feel ignored, dismissed, or spoken to like a burden, it chips away at your sense of self-worth. You may start asking questions like, did I fail as a parent? Have I become too much to handle? Is my opinion no longer valued? These are heavy questions. And they don't have easy answers. But what matters most is this: you are still worthy of respect. No matter your age, no matter your health, no matter how much help you may need, you are not invisible. You are not irrelevant. You are not unimportant. And if someone close to you has forgotten that, it doesn't mean it's not true. The pain of being treated like a child. One of the cruelest ironies of aging is being treated like a child by your own children. You were the one who taught them how to tie their shoes, cook a meal, manage money. Now, you may feel like you're being told what to wear, what to eat, where to live, without being asked what you think. Sometimes it comes from concern. Sometimes it comes from impatience. Sometimes it comes from fear. But regardless of intention, it can leave you feeling powerless, stripped of autonomy, unheard, and unseen. You may hear things like, "You wouldn't understand. I'm doing this because I care. Why can't you just listen?" And in those moments, you might wonder, am I still allowed to be me? Yes. You are still allowed to have opinions, to make choices, to be treated with kindness, even when you make mistakes. And if you're being treated like a child, it's okay to ask for something different. Not with anger, not with blame, but with calm clarity. Because respect is not something you lose when you get older. It's something others choose to give or take. And you have every right to remind them. Generational gaps, more than just age. There's a natural gap between generations, and it only widens with time. You grew up in a world without smartphones, fast food on every corner, or constant digital distractions. Your children grew up with speed, pressure, and the belief that independence means cutting ties, even with those who raised them. And then there are grandchildren who may barely remember your name, let alone understand your stories. This gap isn't anyone's fault. It's simply part of life. But it can create misunderstandings. Your children may not understand why certain traditions matter to you. They may not grasp the weight of your words. They may not see the value in slowing down. And in turn, you may feel confused by their priorities, their habits, their choices. But here's the truth, you both carry wisdom. You both carry pain. You both want to be understood. The challenge is learning how to bridge the gap without losing yourself in the process. The walls we build without meaning to. Sometimes, the loss of respect isn't dramatic. It's subtle. A glance instead of a greeting. A short answer instead of a full conversation. A decision made without asking your opinion. Over time, these small moments stack up, creating walls you didn't ask to build. You may start to feel like a guest in your own home. Like a visitor in your own family. Like someone who is tolerated, not truly welcomed. And that's heartbreaking. Because you never wanted to be a burden. You only wanted to belong. But the truth is, walls aren't always built out of hate. Sometimes, they're built out of fear. Fear of growing older. Fear of seeing you slow down. Fear of facing mortality. And sometimes, they're built out of habit. Because once distance grows, it's easier to stay distant than to reconnect. But that doesn't mean the walls can't come down. It just means it takes effort. It takes courage. It takes honesty. How to stay grounded when you feel disrespected. When respect feels lost, it's easy to fall into sadness, frustration, or even shame. But here's something powerful you can do: stay grounded in who you are. You are not defined by how someone else treats you. You are not less valuable because someone forgot to honor you. You are still the person who taught them to walk. Who comforted them through tears. Who stayed strong when they couldn't. And nothing changes that. So when you feel disrespected, pause. Ask yourself, was this intentional? Is this a pattern? Could this be coming from their own pain? Sometimes, the way we're treated says more about the other person than it does about us. And when you remember that, you begin to protect your heart, even when it's hurting. Setting boundaries with love. Setting boundaries with your children, especially as you age, can feel like walking on glass. You worry about pushing them away. You worry about sounding demanding. You worry about becoming the difficult parent. But setting boundaries is not selfish. It's self-respect. And it's necessary. Boundaries can look like asking to be spoken to, kindly requesting to be included in decisions that affect you, choosing not to tolerate rude behavior, letting go of conversations that drain you. It's not about control. It's about preserving your dignity. If your child talks over you, interrupts you, or dismisses your feelings, gently but clearly say, "Please listen to me." If they make decisions about your life without asking, say, "I'd like to be involved." If they speak harshly, say, "That hurts me." You have every right to ask for kindness and to walk away from anything that steals your peace, because dignity is not something you give up when you grow older. It's something you hold on to fiercely, gently, and with grace. Speaking up without breaking the bond. Telling your children how you feel is one of the hardest things you can do, especially if you've spent a lifetime avoiding conflict. But speaking up is not the same as fighting. It's about saying, I'm still here. I still matter. And I still want to be heard. Choose a quiet moment. One where emotions are calm and time is on your side. Then, say what's in your heart. I noticed that lately, our conversations feel rushed. I miss the days when we used to really talk. I feel like my opinion doesn't count anymore. It makes me feel small. I know you're busy, but I need to feel like I still belong in your life. Be honest. Be gentle. Be clear. And then, give them space to respond. Because change doesn't always come quickly. But planting the seed, that's already a step forward. Letting go of expectations. One of the most painful parts of losing respect from your children is the realization that the relationship you hoped for may not be the one you have. And that's okay. Because letting go of expectations doesn't mean giving up on love. It means adjusting your heart to fit the reality you live in. You may have dreamed of growing old surrounded by laughter, visits, shared meals. But life doesn't always follow the dream. Some children drift away. Some struggle with their own pain. Some simply don't know how to show up. And none of that reflects your worth. What it reflects is the complexity of human relationships and the fact that even blood doesn't guarantee closeness. So if your children have changed, if their respect has faded, allow yourself to grieve. But also allow yourself to release the expectation that things must return to how they once were. Because sometimes, the greatest act of love is learning to hold on to your dignity, even when others forget how, understanding where they're coming from. Before we go further, let's pause and try to understand where your children might be. They are not perfect. But neither are you. They are navigating their own struggles, careers, marriages, parenthood, debt, exhaustion, and grief. They may not know how to balance caring for you while managing their own lives. They may not know how to ask for help, so they shut down. They may not know how to express love, so they withdraw. None of this excuses disrespectful behavior. But understanding their world can soften your heart and open space for healing. Because the goal isn't punishment. It's connection. And connection requires both sides to try, even when it's hard. Finding support outside your children. If your children have stopped showing respect or stopped showing up altogether, it doesn't mean you have to face life alone. There are other sources of love, of support, of dignity. Friends who remember your story. Neighbors who check in on you. Community members who treat you with kindness. Faith leaders who pray with you. Therapists or counselors who help you heal. Even strangers can offer unexpected moments of warmth. Don't let the absence of respect from your children define your worth. You are still connected to the world, and the world still has space for you. Find places where you are appreciated, where your wisdom is welcome, where your presence brings joy. And let those connections remind you of your value, even when your own children forget. Reclaiming your voice. After years of giving, sacrificing, and stepping back, it's easy to forget how to speak up for yourself. But your voice still matters. Your thoughts still carry weight. Your feelings still deserve space. Your experience still holds power. Reclaiming your voice doesn't mean becoming demanding or bitter. It means standing tall in your truth. It means choosing not to shrink just because someone else forgot to lift you up. Talk to others who understand. Write letters to your children, even if you never send them. Speak your truth in a journal. Say out loud, I still deserve to be heard. And slowly, you'll begin to believe it again. Because you do. You still deserve to be heard. You still deserve to be loved. You still deserve to be respected. Even if some have forgotten how. Protecting your peace. As you grow older, peace becomes more precious than ever. You've earned the right to rest in your own skin, to be free from tension, arguments, and emotional strain. And sometimes, protecting your peace means making hard choices. Maybe it means limiting contact with a child who constantly disrespects you. Maybe it means setting clear lines about what you will and won't accept. Maybe it means finding ways to fill your life with people who treat you well. You don't have to fight for respect in a relationship that doesn't offer it freely. You can choose to redirect your energy toward the people who still make you feel loved and worthy. Because your peace is sacred. And no one, not even your own children, should take it from you. Finding purpose beyond family. When children stop respecting you, it can feel like a part of your purpose is gone. But your purpose was never solely tied to them. You are more than a parent. You are a teacher, a storyteller, a survivor, a lover of life. And even if your children don't see it, you still have gifts to give. Volunteer at a community center. Mentor someone younger. Share your stories. Offer advice. Teach what you've learned. Your wisdom is still needed. Your presence is still powerful. Your heart is still full of love. And even if your children have forgotten how to receive it, there are still people who will cherish it. And that's enough. More than enough. Learning to heal without them. Sometimes, the saddest truth is this: you may never get the kind of relationship you hoped for. And that's okay. Because healing doesn't depend on their change. It depends on yours. Healing means letting go of the pain that weighs you down. It means forgiving, not because they deserve it, but because you do. It means releasing the idea that your happiness hinges on their behavior. You deserve peace, whether they give it or not. You deserve joy, even if they don't share it. You deserve love, even if they've forgotten how to show it. And you deserve to live your remaining years with grace, strength, and quiet confidence. Because you are still whole. Still loved. Still valued, even if only by yourself. And that is enough. Self-respect, the deepest kind. When the world stops treating you with kindness, the most important thing you can do is treat yourself with it. Self-respect is the foundation of dignity. It's looking in the mirror and seeing the person who endured hardship, raised a family, built a life. It's remembering that your worth is not tied to how someone else sees you, but how you see yourself. So dress with care. Speak to yourself gently. Do things that bring you joy. Surround yourself with people who reflect your light. Because the world may forget you, but you never have to. And when you live with self-respect, you teach others, silently, how to treat you. Even if they're not ready to learn. Standing tall, even when they don't. You may feel like shrinking. Like hiding your opinions. Like staying quiet so you don't upset anyone. Like pretending everything is fine when it isn't. But please remember, you were not meant to disappear quietly. You were meant to stand tall, even when others forget to look up. You were meant to live with pride, even when others take you for granted. You were meant to speak with wisdom, even when they don't listen. Because your life is not over. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are still here. And that is enough. Rebuilding connection, if you choose. If you still want a relationship with your children, even after feeling disrespected, there are steps you can take. Start with small gestures, a letter, a phone call, a shared memory. Show them your heart, not in anger, but in love. Tell them how you feel, not to accuse, but to invite understanding. Ask for what you need, not as a demand, but as a request. And above all, give them space to grow. Because sometimes, respect is something they haven't learned yet. And sometimes, it returns, not because you forced it, but because you showed them what it looks like, knowing when to step back. But what if they don't change? What if they keep treating you with indifference, rudeness, or coldness? Then, it's okay to step back. To create space. To guard your heart. To choose peace over pain. Because you don't owe them a front row seat to your suffering. You don't owe them your time if it leaves you drained. You don't owe them explanations for how you feel. You don't owe them your silence when you need to speak. Sometimes, stepping back is the strongest form of self-love. And that's not failure. That's freedom. Living fully, whether they join you or not. You still have dreams. You still have things to learn, places to visit, people to meet. And you still have time, however much is left, to live with meaning. So write that book. Take that trip. Call that old friend. Join that class. Make new memories. Because your life is not over. Your story is not finished. And even if your children have forgotten how to honor you, the world still has space for your light. And you still have the right to shine. Healing is possible, even when they don't try. Let me say this clearly, you can heal, even if they don't try to change. You can find peace, even if they don't apologize. You can feel fulfilled, even if they don't understand. You can be happy, even if they don't give you reasons. Because healing is not dependent on their actions. It's dependent on yours. And when you choose to heal, not for them, but for yourself, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you are not defined by how you're treated. You are defined by how you rise. Dear viewer, losing the respect of your children is one of the deepest wounds a parent can feel. It's not just about being honored, it's about being seen. About being valued. About being known. And when that shifts, when you feel like a stranger in your own family, it can shake your soul. But I want you to remember this, you are still loved, even if not the way you hoped. You are still wise, even if not always listened to. You are still worthy, even if not always treated like it. And you are still allowed to protect your heart. Allowed to set boundaries. Allowed to walk away from pain. Allowed to live your final years with peace. Because you are not just a parent. You are a person. And every person, no matter their age, deserves to be treated with dignity. So take care of yourself. Surround yourself with those who still see you. Speak your truth when you can. And above all, keep loving. Because love is what got you here, and love is what will carry you forward. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, please leave a comment below, sharing what helps you hold onto your dignity, even when your children forget to. And if you found value in this content, please click the bell and subscribe. There's much more to come, videos filled with warmth, wisdom, and real-life guidance for life after 60. Until next time, walk gently through life. Hold onto your peace. And never stop believing in your worth. You are unique. And you deserve to live with health, dignity, and joy. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing what helps you hold onto your dignity, even when your children forget to show you respect. Your words might bring comfort to someone else who feels alone in this pain. And if this video spoke to your heart, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another moment of healing, learning, and connection. Until next time, take care of your heart. You are seen. You are loved. You are still here. See you soon.